Hello there, Ray here, and today we're going to be testing out all the crazy stuff you can do with the Happy Ghast as well as the vibrant visuals. Now to play, you do have to load up the Bedrock preview and then click preview, brand new world, and then click here, and then go down to experiments, and then we have to turn on the drops and hit yes, drop number 2 of 2025. This includes the Happy Ghast. Plus, you want to come down here if you want to try out the vibrant visuals, turn on this one here, and you can also turn on cheats. Then set it to creative and hit create. Now currently we can only access these on Bedrock Edition, but they will be coming to Java Edition soon. You can find the dried ghast underneath of fossils inside of the nether dimension. Or they can be crafted in survival with a single bone block that is surrounded by ghast tears. This will produce 1 dried ghast. They are stackable items and you can place them down as decoration as well. They are a bit different than player heads as they will only face in the cardinal directions, but you can easily break them with a single punch. And then to convert the dried ghast into a happy ghast, you want to waterlog it, and this will change the sad face on it into a happy one over time. Now you can see it's getting happier, and now it's completely happy, and then afterwards it will turn into a baby ghastling. Now if it's getting happy, if you would remove the water, it will then start reverting back to being sad again. It would be cool if they would let you keep it at a certain stage, at least so that builders can have unique looking ghast faces. Even if you would mine it during this state, it's just going to revert back to the normal dried ghast. Now the time it takes to go from a dried ghast all the way into a ghastling is 20 minutes, but I sped this up just by speeding up the random tick time. Now once there is a ghastling that spawns, it will try to follow any player that is near to them up to 16 blocks away. Now if there is no player within 16 blocks, then they'll try to follow a nearby passive mob or other types of neutral mobs that are not an aquatic mob but are an adult. You can see these guys are kind of focused on me, so wherever I go they're just following me. But if neither of these are in the area, then what the baby ghast will do is they'll float around the area where they spawned or where they were last interacted by the player and in a 32 block area around the center. You can tempt the ghaslings to come towards you similar to other mobs by holding out their food. In this case it is snowballs. Oh look at that, they make cute little noises while they're eating the snowballs. Now this is also used in order to get them to grow up faster. There we go, now we got a big happy ghast. Otherwise you can let them grow up naturally, which takes 20 minutes like other mobs in the game. And in Bedrock Edition you can use this command here to summon the babies directly. Now using the spawn egg directly onto the big ghast doesn't actually produce any babies. The babies do make a very cute noise as well. Now you can make their own saddles for these guys, which are called harnesses, and depending on which color you put here in the center will change the color of the harness, but it only takes 1 wool, 2 glass, and 3 leather. Now with the harness, you can have the ghast come near you by tempting it with some snowballs. You can also tempt the ghast to come towards you just by holding the harness out rather than holding the snowballs. And then once nearby, you can right click the harness onto it, and then you can click on the ghast, and this will immediately have you ride it. You can see that shifting is used to dismount it, and once you do ride it, you will be immediately put in front as you are now in control of it. Now unlike other rideable things in the game, you normally can only ride them across a flat surface, but you can ride the ghast through a 3-dimensional area. You can use your WASD keys to move forward, backwards, right, and left, but to move up and down is a little bit different. So up is simple, it's using the spacebar just like in creative mode, but to go down you can't use crouch because that will cause you to dismount. So to go downwards you have to look downwards and then also push forward at the same time. And you can see now we're going downwards. Oh my god, it's a water, so it automatically dismounted me. Now you can see the ghast moves really slow compared to like creative mode or flying with the Elytra. But it does make sense that they wouldn't make this too overpowered because they want to kind of have a balance between using the Elytra to travel quickly and using this to do more slower but more precise movement. As with the Elytra, you move so fast you can't actually build very easily with it. And rather than using WASD, you can also just point to where you want to go and push forward. So I can point like downwards, or I can point like a little bit upwards and they'll actually fly upwards, or you can point like over there. And this is another way you can move the ghast around. They probably did this type of controls so that people that play on limited devices like mobile can still move the ghast without having complicated controls. Now you can also rotate the ghast just by looking in a different direction, and then the ghast will rotate that direction. Now you probably also notice that your FOV really zooms out when you're in F5 mode. I think this allows you to kind of see the area better and also see your mount, which is the massive ghast. Same thing when you're in this mode. So you actually get some pretty cool screenshots of you being on top of the ghast. Now you can also see the health on it. They said this is a known bug where it shows it has 40 health, but it's only supposed to have 20 health, which is actually the same as the player, which seems about the appropriate amount of health for a passive mob like this. You could also remove the harness from the Happy Ghast. As long as there's no one riding it, you can right click it with some shears and that will drop it. You can also re-dye the harness color, like this one is a black one, and then we can use some dye in order to make a lime one. And like saddles, you can't place them onto the baby versions, only the adults. Now, unlike other mobs, these don't actually panic when they get hit by damage, so you don't have to worry about them accidentally getting attacked by some mob or another player and then all of a sudden are running or acting weird. They do make a unique damage noise as well, and when you kill it, it doesn't seem to drop anything, but it would drop its harness if it's holding that. You also cannot breed the gas by like using snowballs on them. So the only way to get more gaslings is to use the process of rehydrating them. Now, if the gas is low on health, you can take it all the way up to cloud level. And when you get up here where the clouds are at, it will regen its health as it absorbs the moisture from the clouds. It could also do this during when it's raining or snowing. Now, it seems like the gas can move really quickly when there's no player on them. But yeah, compared to me moving the gas, look how slow I move when I'm on it. Now when you dismount, the goggles on the gas move up and down. So notice when I'm riding it, they're over its eyes, like it's ready to do some flying, keep its eyes safe from debris. But as soon as it dismount, they will go upwards. And also as soon as it dismounts, notice the gas will snap to a cardinal direction. So even if the gas is like pointing a little bit at a kidney corner direction, as soon as you jump on it, then it's going to line up with the blocks, and it will also stop moving so you can easily walk on top of it. Notice the surface is a big nice collision that the player can walk on. Unlike most mobs, something that's similar to this is boats in the game where you can stand on top of them even if they're like sitting on top of the water. But any of the Happy Ghast can actually detect when there's a player on top of them. So if I just go stand on top of this one, notice as soon as I touch it, it will stop moving, and then it'll also just freeze in place, which is really cool. So you can have a bunch of these like floating around. You can just like parkour them. As soon as you touch them, they'll just stop in place, and you can jump onto a new one, and then the old one will keep moving. Now the gaslings don't have any collision, and they also don't freeze or anything when you stand on them. Now one question I know a lot of people had was, do they have collision from the side? So if I like push them on the side, you can see even though I'm over here, the gas does think I'm on top of it and it stopped moving. You can see I'm pushing forward. I can't actually push into this gas because it's currently in its frozen state. But if I let it move and then I walk into it, I am able to actually go right through it. It's kind of a weird thing where you can go through it, but then as soon as it freezes, then you can actually stand on it. So it doesn't have collision all the time, which does mean it's not going to be useful for a lot of things, as you actually need a player to be there in order to keep its collision. I don't know if this is how it's going to work when it comes to Java Edition, but this is actually really strange where it has a collision sometimes and then sometimes it doesn't. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Now if the player would fall all the way to the ground, the gas that's way up in the air will actually descend down to ground level before it will start doing its normal roaming around the last position where it was interacted with. This will make it a lot easier in order to pull it in close again so you can hop onto it and easily continue your ride. Now you can catch the baby gas inside of boats. This is because the rule when it comes to boats is that anything that is smaller than them can let them get pulled inside and collected. But since Happy Ghast are big, they can't get picked up by it. And you can also pick up the gaslings in the minecarts. Now when it comes to the Happy Ghast, they can get picked up by minecarts just like normal gas can. But once again, they have no collision unless they think that you're trying to stand on top of them. So here you can kind of see how it's working where sometimes I'm on top of it and then sometimes it leaves and then I clip through it and go underneath of it, but then it immediately becomes solid again and it will snap you back on top again, which is kind of strange. So once again, you can kind of use this as like a Mario game where you're like hopping and landing on this platform that's moving, and then you're hopping off into a new thing to make some really cool types of parkour. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we can use these for like a big door that things can't pass, because it's not actually solid, and instead it's very much like a normal gas. But we probably could use these guys just to sweep like normal gas, although I'm not sure if this is a bedrock thing, but it seems like the gas don't actually push the mobs here. Notice how the cow just kind of goes right into the gas. So if we compare this to a normal gas, yeah, it seems like it might be a thing that's in Bedrock Edition where they don't really push mobs. So it seems that it's unfortunate that we can't really use these for in many situations as we were anticipating, unless they change something or, you know, make it something that's unique to Java Edition. Now, I was really hoping to use this in my void bases. If you've seen my video where I showed how you can make bases in the void underneath the world or above the world, way back in the day, and these can still be made today. And I was hoping we can come in and place in some like chest minecarts on top of these things, but it seems that their collision really doesn't apply to other entities. Here's a chest boat. It seems like the chest boat actually pushes the gas downwards each time, which is kind of strange. But hopefully it works differently in Java Edition. But if it would work, then you can have like your storage on top of this gas, and then have the gas way up in the air or down in the void so that people wouldn't normally see it, and then you could come back and collect all your loot whenever you want to. But since the player needs to be here for it to be solid, or even to be standing in the right location, I don't think this is going to work. And it seems you can fly these guys above the world build limit, so you can go as high as you want, and there's no like limit on how long you can ride them or how high they'll go, although they do move really slowly. And because the gas has the property of floating down to ground level whenever somebody leaves the top of them, this would mean even if you got them really high up in the air, they would just slowly drift back down to ground level. So the only way you'd be able to keep them up there is you somehow box them in, maybe using some shulkers, as I showed in the video. So let me get off of the gas and let's watch it go downwards. It actually moves downwards pretty quickly. Now the idle range on the Happy Ghast compared to the babies is bigger, so they can move around a 64 block area from the last place they were interacting with or where they were spawned in. But if they're wearing a harness, they'll only wander around about 32 blocks from their home position. And while roaming, it will try to stay close to blocks, so it's not going to roam like 64 blocks up in the air. So this is the normal gas spawn egg, and you can see there's no face on it, where this one is the Happy Ghast. Fun fact, the Happy Ghast spawn egg was actually revealed prior to the Happy Ghast being shown later in the Minecraft live event. This is because they were showing off the new eggs, and it was right here, and right over here was the normal ghast. Now, just like the Happy Ghast has kind of like updated texture, they also update the texture when it comes to the normal ghast, and the baby ones have the cool little gills on the side where the adults have it less visible, but it's still there. You can see it both on the normal ghast as well as the Happy Ghast. Now the Happy Ghast are passive mobs, so you can hook them onto a lead in order to pull them around. And as I anticipated, you can also hook mobs onto leads and then jump onto a Happy Ghast, and because they move so slowly, you don't have to worry about the mobs actually breaking their leads, which is pretty common in Java Edition. I don't know what's going on with Bedrock Edition's leads. It looks like they're kind of glitchy. But yeah, this could be an easy way to move not only mobs that you can hook on directly with leads, like a cow, but also mobs you can't hook onto leads, like this villager inside of a boat that seems to think he's an orbiting planet. Although it is kind of annoying to try to fly with these guys because they're constantly pushing you. So even though I'm trying to fly that direction, they're pushing me back the other direction, so we're not really making any progress. So you might have to fly backwards in order to move these guys. So let's see if we can get these things go faster. We got a speed potion. Can I crouch and... Oh yeah, there we go. I don't think they're any faster. Let's give them a slowness potion. Have a slowness potion? Nope, I think it's the same speed. It would be cool if potions would make them faster and slower. Although, I'm not sure he would really want to keep wasting potions just to make them go a bit faster. So let's see if the gas can go through the portal, and it indeed went through the nether portal. So you can easily transfer them from one dimension into the other, and you can just move these guys into other dimensions while they're babies, so it's a lot easier to move them through portals. And let's try it with the end portal, and once again, they do teleport, so you can bring these over into the end dimension, and then you can easily use these to fly between all the different end islands and go out and get your very first elytra, which would be much safer as well as funner than trying to pillar all about. You could easily fight from the top of these, so you could take on the dragon, or do any type of combat you want to. You could probably even get close and use your sword on stuff. It doesn't seem like the dragon even harms it. Let's go ahead and take the gas down into the void and see when it starts dying. In the end dimension, anything below 0 is a void. Oh, yeah, it's definitely dying. Oh, and it died. But in Bedrock Edition, it's a little bit different. You can actually stand on the bottom piece here, like so I can't actually fall and die in creative mode. Let's see if I can suffocate my character by flying up into this platform here. Oh, yep, okay. Oh, that could be used to clip into people's bases. It's kind of scary. You have to, when you're suffocating, you can't just like dismount, because you might get dismounted inside that. But instead you have to mount the gas and then look downwards in order to actually go downwards. Let's give it a try again. Okay. Go up. Yep. And then you have to look downwards and push forward to get back out of it again. Nice. Okay, let's try it again. This time I'll dismount. So I'm like pretty much inside the blocks now. Because the ghast is underneath me, I can't really do anything. So this could be used for like a trap. I wonder if I can right click the ghast. No, I can't right click the ghast to write it again. Because I'm now inside of this obsidian. So if this was bedrock, you'd be pretty much screwed. You need some like ender pearls or something to clip out of it. I can't even kill the ghast from here. But this could also be a cool way to clip into different things. So one of the cool properties of the Happy Ghast is that you can have up to 4 players riding on the harness along with you. So the person in front is the one in control, so I'm moving around. And then when other people join, they'll be placed on the other sides going clockwise from where the starting player is at. And they also have no control over the ghast. Now if my alt account would dismount, you can see it is a firm surface that they can stand on, but I can still move the ghast. So I can move it downwards and you can see they're going to fall along with it, or I can even move it forwards, in which case they're going to fall off the edge. And you can see the top is no longer solid, so if I try to summon a cow like on top of it, it falls through just like it would fall through like a normal ghast. I somehow managed to glitch myself in, so now I can't actually dismount the ghast. I tried using the emote thing, and yeah, as soon as I try to use that, now I'm just stuck on the ghast forever, I guess. But they did say there will be some bugs with this, so make sure to report them on their new bug report page. It's a huge disappointment seeing that the solidness doesn't actually stay that way unless there's an actual player standing on top of it. This is going to ruin a lot of people's expectations, including mine. I was really hoping there would be a lot more technical uses for this guy here, but it looks like there's not going to be unless they change this. So we probably won't be able to use these guys' collision as a wither cage, similar to how we do it with boats. If you have any specific questions about the Happy Ghast, let me know. But they also came out with the new vibrant visuals. You can do this in your settings, click on video, then come down here to where it has your graphic mode and switches to vibrant visuals. And now if we go ahead and remove that, oh my goodness, dude, the game looks completely different. Okay, I don't have like the best PC as you guys know, but it looks like it's handling it fairly well. My CPU has rocketed from like 40% up to like 80%. My GPU probably went from like 10% to like 40%. So it is putting more strain on my computer, but this is the new thing that they're coming out where the shadows will actually move with the sun. So I set it to sunrise. You can see the sun is coming up. You can see the shine on the water and the reflection. Oh, that looks crazy. That looks so realistic. And it also starts putting shadows on everything. So notice the shadows are really long at the moment. Let's look at my shadow. But it's also the shadows are really faint because the sun is still coming up. And my computer is actually not handling it too poorly, even while recording. I wonder how this is going to be in Java Edition. Java Edition is quite a bit more CPU intense. But yeah, my shadow is becoming a little bit more easier to see as the sun's getting brighter as it's coming up. Very cool. And the shadows themselves are actually aligned to the individual pixels. So you notice the pixels on the block in front of us, how the shadows will stick right to it. You see they don't really curve around it. While I'm resting in the shade of this tree, make sure you guys are still a subscriber. Now the sun's getting up there quite high. You can see what everything also looks like. There's a little bit of a shine on everything, and the textures are all completely different because of they have to interact with the sunlight. So some stuff might look too shiny, but they said they are going to work on the shininess, trying to make it look natural. Obviously they want some shine so you can actually notice this whole effect, but they don't want it too shiny. They said one of the hardest things they're working on is the water, and I can believe that. We go underneath of the water. Oh yeah, it's even down here. Wow. Okay, that is a so it's actually coming down on the surface, and it's kind of like making sunlight down here. Now I'm not sure if I'll actually play with this on, because the way I play Minecraft is very technical, so sometimes the stuff I talk about and point out can be difficult for people to understand, especially without there being a bunch of extra stuff in the game that could make it more confusing. Okay, now we set it to sunset. Look at that, guys. Oh, the sun's going down. I could definitely see people purposely sleeping away the night just so they can see all the cool visuals of the sunrise and sunset. Look at the shine on the portal. That's kind of cool. There it goes. Reflection on the river is going and it's gone. Now it's just a little hue. Look at the reflection of that gas too. You can see it flying above it. Now that the sun is down, it almost looks like normal Minecraft. There is a little bit of glint you can kind of see. Actually, it does make it a little bit easier to see at night. I don't actually have any effects on, so it kind of gives you night vision. Let me turn this off and see what it looks like. Oh, yeah. I feel like it got a little bit darker. It does kind of help you see. Now, after playing with the visuals, going back to normal Minecraft might be a little bit hard. But what do you think? Would you actually play with it on? One thing I didn't cover in my April Fool's video, as it came out just after I released it, was this launcher April Fool's event. In the bottom here, there's this little progress bar. When you move your cursor, this little indicator starts moving towards the end. And when it does reach the end, then you complete another level. You can see current level is now 14. And they also have funny names for it. This is called King of Mount Blockington. And if you click select the skills, you can turn on and off all these weird skills that you get. They all do different things within the launcher. So if you scroll down, I just unlocked all these ones down here. So I can go ahead and click them and we'll see what they do. Some of them add weird noises and add extra things on top of the screen. Let's go ahead and look at this. Oh, look at that. It made my play button huge. And we got fire. I got a bunch of things on my cursor, and there's even a bee following me. The text down here got changed so that it has letters and numbers in it. Oh man, look at the text here. It's so hard to read. But the cool thing about this is at the very bottom, if you would happen to go through all these levels, it goes all the way up to level 30, which is also the level you need in Minecraft in order to get the highest level enchantments. But then afterwards, there's these two down here, which are at level 9001. This is the over 9,000 joke. And it says Launcher Developer, Debug, Old Launcher UI. This is skill not obtainable. And this one's called Launcher Cape. This skill is not obtainable. Now, this made people think that you can actually get a launcher cape, but this is just an April Fool's thing. You notice all the previous ones underneath them, it says this skill is locked. This skill is locked. And what they used to say is this skill is not obtainable. But then these, they changed the wording on them, so it says this is skill not obtainable. At first I thought this was just a grammatical mistake, but I think they did this on purpose to explain that you can't actually get the launcher cape, saying this is skill not obtainable. Apparently this is confirmed by others who actually went into the launcher code, and there's actually a file that you can edit so you can give yourself the maximum level. And even if you give yourself the maximum level, you can't actually obtain this down here. But it's really cool to see that Minecraft, the game, got a April Fool's. So did the launcher as well as the website. Help me continue to make videos like this by becoming a supporter like all these people on the screen. Either with YouTube membership, Discord membership, Patreon, or Twitch subs, which you can even do for free if you have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime. Just make sure to use it up each and every month to support me for no extra cost. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!